Now that you have extracted the contents of that zip file into your images folder, you're ready to continue working on the tutorial. So what you have is you have the banner image, and you'll have the menu item images like the buttons, and then down here we'll throw in the image. It's of a motorcycle called a Royal Enfield. So what we're going to do now is simply replace this text, and this was just a placeholder. We typed it in here just more or less for remembering what was supposed to go there. And now to insert an image, what you're going to do is you place the insertion point where you would like the image to go. Now it just so happens it's in a table here. If we tried to put it anywhere else, it just wouldn't go. Images can be pretty tricky. That's why we created tables. So we click on image, and then we look for the image, which just happens to be in a folder that I created here under my Digital Productions website folder called Images, and I hope you did the same thing. So that's where I'm going, into my Digital Productions website folder, down into Images, and we'll choose the PNG file that I created using flamingtext.com. And the URL is relative to page location. So what will happen is if we upload this to a server, the HTML page, index.html, would go down one level into images and look for this particular folder or file. And then we throw in some alternate text. Do this for every image. We'll talk more about that later. I think you've probably read about it at this point. And it says the actual size is here. Now we can adjust that if we find that it's too big, and maybe it is. So it seems like a lot. So you can always resize it. So you can, I'm just eyeballing it here so you don't have to be real specific. Now the same thing I'm going to do here for the buttons. Now what we did a while ago, you noticed that it changed the width of the cells depending on what we typed into it. But when I created the buttons, I used a little site called the Buttons website or something like that, and I created the buttons that would all have the same width, and they were about 150 pixels wide. So again, we click on image. It should go right back into the folder now. I don't have to keep picking it over and over and over again. This one was going to be my home button. I'm just going to type in my alt next. I'll type in button home, something like that. That doesn't look too bad. We'll see what it looks like hereafter. If we need to adjust the size, we can do that. So keep doing this for the rest of your buttons. I believe the next one was British. I'll keep going here, but you can fast forward a bit now that you've figured it out. But I'm going to keep going. And I'm still here. If you're still with me. Just about done, like you see. And these buttons are inactive for now. But we've got the good makings here of a site. We'll worry about the lines later. This is pretty good. We'll put in the image now of the Royal Enfield that I was talking about. It's one with a sidecar. Of course, if you wanted it to look different, you know, if you didn't want the stuff, or if you just wanted the bike without, oh, I didn't put the alternate text in. So image, we'll just call it Royal Enfield with sidecar. And if it's too big, that's something that we can adjust. I think it's pretty good, but we can always adjust it later. And so we have the makings of a web page. It's not very fancy yet, but oftentimes content is more important than how fancy it is. Anyway, I'm going to end the video here, and in the next video what we're going to do is we're going to start setting up, well, we'll look at the page colors and stuff and get rid of the lines here.